Live.
Welcome to the DLLS Mavs show. We're going to talk about the three major injuries Dallas has going into next season and which one concerns us most. Coming up next on DLLS Mavs. Hello, welcome. It's the DLLS Mavs show. I am Tim Cato, still filling in for Kevin Gray. We have a diehard sale, $36. It's for NFL training camp. For all the support, everybody who listens, if you want more DLLS, more written content, t-shirts, Discord access, physical diehard card, $36 right now, limited time training camp special.
Great deal.
Be sure to check it out. We got Bobby Caralla.
Hello, Tim.
Hello, Bobby.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Mark Stein, how are you?
I'm a bit frantic because I'm trying to do a little story here. So even though I'm not looking at you guys, I promise I'm listening intently to every word.
You breaking some news?
I hope so. If things cooperate. So
Nice.
Let's see if I can successfully do it.
Right on. Well, good luck.
Why is news always broken? You know, why can't it ever be whole and full and healthy
Can't even
and full
fix
of life?
news is bones.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
really is
I don't know.
frantic. Yeah, we'll come back to you on that one, Mark.
I just, my first.
We're gonna serve
I've been exposed 1 minute into this.
We're gonna serve the listeners right now. Mark is one hand typing on his laptop, the other hand swiping on his phone, looking down and up and sideways, all at the same time. So make sure to check your Twitter timeline because there's probably gonna be some stuff coming out very soon.
Yeah. I can't wait for the second phone to get into action.
Oh wow!
If it does, we'll have to see. So the Mavericks have three players going in to training camp where we're just not sure exactly where they stand injury-wise. Kyrie Irving was known, and it's known he's going to miss half the season, maybe a little bit more, maybe a lot more. We can't say for sure. Derek Lively underwent foot surgery for bone spurs, and where he sits headed into training camp is also, as of now, just an unknown. I think that there's a hope that he's going to be available by then, but hope and even expectation, and it might be a little too strong to call it an expectation, is not certainty. And then there's Anthony Davis, who had surgery on his eye, which is about the last place that I could have ever imagined wanting to have surgery. And I think our working assumption is that there is not a clear timeline or understanding of what he's going to have to go through to get back onto the court. And now Dallas goes into next season, already knowing between Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving that, as things stand right now, they're going to be the Western Conference team that already knows it's going to be missing a good chunk of games from all NBA players. More than any other team knows right now. Not to say that other teams aren't going to be hit with injury bugs and injury plague, and this stuff happens. But where do we fall on these three guys and the importance level and really the concern level that we have, here late July? So, a lot of time to go. Which one would you say, or how would you rank these three, Bobby, in terms of concern?
I think I'm least concerned, oddly enough, with Kyrie because we already know he's just going to be out. It's just kind of, if he comes back, great. And if not, then there's always going to be next year. And it's going to be, as fine as you can be coming back from an injury like the one that he suffered. The one that I'm most concerned about is Lively because he's a big dude that is, explosive as a leaper and also has explosive quickness for a guy his size and moves in ways that a guy that's 7'1", 7'2", don't normally move like that. And big men in general, regardless of your weight or level of athleticism or your foot speed or anything, like big men dealing with foot injuries are very scary. But for someone like Lively, who jumps so much and steps out on the perimeter so much and changes direction so much that involves a lot of planting, leaping, explosion, landing, all that stuff. It's just really worrying. And also, he's still like 15 years old or something. He's like, what, 22, maybe 21? Like, he's just so young. And so to be dealing with something like that is really unfortunate. Now, hopefully it's not that big of a deal and he's going to come back and be fine. Like early in his career, Dirk had bone spurs. That was a result of just spraining his ankle like a gazillion times.
Is that where the rivalry came from with San Antonio?
Yeah, he just always hated the Spurs.
Yeah,
they were always a thorn in his side, if you would. But he was able to
really the side of the body.
That's true.
Yeah.
But he was able to play 21 years and was awesome. So maybe and he moved in ways that a 7-footer at the time wasn't supposed to move. But he had a surgery after his 20th season. The second to last year, 17-18. He played like 78 games that year, 79 games. His goal was to play all 82. He had to miss a couple games throughout, though, and that summer he had a surgery to repair. It was called an impingement, I think, and they removed a bunch of bone spurs, and that sidelined him for a large chunk, not a large chunk, but the first month and a half or so of his 21st season. And he could never move the same after that. And I think if you hooked him up to a lie detector test, he'd probably say, you know what, maybe I should have waited another year to have it. Or maybe I should have just not had the surgery at all. Because even though it did remove the spurs, it limited his mobility in ways that, really made that final season a slog for him. And so hopefully Lively recovers differently and is able to be just fine. But I mean, dude, foot injuries are no joke.
So you went by seriousness of concern for their long-term futures. That was kind of.
For this upcoming season, if he misses time, that's a bummer. But I want him to have a 15-year career. For AD and Kyrie, not to be morbid, but like they've already had 15-year careers. So,
Yeah, I think if you look at next season and the importance of the players, I think it is still Kyrie number 1. It's AD number 2. Because and then I think it's Lively third. Because when AD misses time, you at least know that you have redundancy. You can play PJ and Cooper and Caleb Martin as the 4s. Or if Lively, the reason Lively is last for me is when Lively's out, I know that AD can swap into the 5. In fact, it's even a cleaner way to close games with AD as the per 5. Like, sure, you have the option of going Gafford and Anthony Davis, but it is kind of interesting. Like, when Lively is out, for games that Lively misses and Gafford and AD, they're going to probably presumably still start together. It'll be Davis and Gafford.
Yeah,
well, like even if Lively's out, but then all of a sudden,
if Lively's healthy, it might still be those
two.
But
that's a weird thing because all of a sudden now those are your 2 centers.
Yeah,
and we've seen that it can be it's doable, but it almost makes sense to kind of stagger them and then get to those lineups.
I'm good.
When necessary, when needed.
Yeah,
but
he's in. I also think too. This is more of like an off-court thing, but Lively's going into his 3rd year. After this season, he can sign an extension, and if he missed a ton of time last year, and if he misses more time this year than what he already missed, or if he misses another 30 or 40 games. Those extension talks could be really tough. And, dude, going into the last year of a rookie deal without an extension is pretty uncomfy. But also signing a guy that's dealt with a lot of serious injuries to a huge extension is pretty uncomfy, especially as you're about to, in another year or 2 after this one, turn the page to Cooper and you're going to have some cleaner books and stuff. Like, there's just it's just a lot. It's a lot. I want to see Derek Lively be a badass, a healthy badass. And also, I know the Mavs do too, because him being great makes everything so much easier as they eventually turn the page.
Mark?
Sorry, guys.
Can I get a Mark take from you?
Yes.
3 injuries. Which one is most concerning to you headed into next season?
I want to say, what you said about Lively is totally true because he's so young and this is not the first injury and he's such a huge part of the future. And just that this foot injury has caused so many issues since January now. all of that is worrisome, but the Anthony Davis eye thing worries me just because it's an eye thing. And look, in my checking on it, when I've asked people, they've said no concerns beyond he's out for the summer. The expectation is that he'll be there for the start of camp. That is definitely the messaging, but just like an eye thing is scary.
Pretty important.
It's scary. And the other thing is we just don't know that much about it. Like Kyrie Irving, it's an ACL tear, which is awful, but we know Kyrie is going to live in the gym. Even though Kyrie's 33, I think you kind of bet on him he's going to recover from that as well as you possibly can. So I think
we also know it was the best case scenario when it comes to an ACL. There wasn't meniscus ligament damage, or reportedly was not meniscus ligament other damage to the knee. It was just an ACL tear, and that does help a little bit.
I just think in Kyrie's case, we know more.
Yeah.
Like we know a lot more. Kyrie's constantly streaming. Like we see him like Lively and AD. We don't know as much about their injury situation. And that does naturally lead to concern and worry. And
there is a lot of fear of the unknown, but I mean, kind of as there should be, but that's why I just keep coming back to Lively, because there's so much more unknown left in his career. Like he's got so many more years to play. And I think that if Cooper works out the way that we think he will, and if Lively can stay healthy, he's definitely going to work out the way we think he will, because he's already demonstrated at the highest level you can possibly go. Like, that is your future. Like, you got this big-bodied wing that can do everything, and then you got a 7'2" giant that can defend guards. Like, and he's got passing skills and ball skills. Like, that is an incredible core to be able to build around. And if there's anything that diminishes that, then the future just gets a little cloudier, and that would just stink really, really badly, Tim.
Yeah, he's going to take 2 or 3 threes per game next season.
Yep,
Mark Cuban said so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm expecting that either. I don't. I would set the over
4 or 5.
I would set the over under. I wouldn't even set the over under at 1. I'm sorry. Like,
and this is this per game or total?
Yeah, per
total
game.
tips all season.
No. Maybe he'll get to. Maybe we'll see. Maybe that's better. What is the over under for the season?
For made or attempted?
Attempted.
20.
10?
20.
20's a lot.
Yeah.
Non-heaves.
How many has he taken in his career?
How many games is he going to play?
He's
that
taken,
kind of brings us back to the start of this combo.
I believe he's taken 2 officially, although I think they might have both been heaves. And then he took 1 in the finals and he made it.
No. Both of his were corner
real
threes.
Ones.
Yeah, one of them was a drawn up play
against
after
the Heat.
Jason Kidd got ejected, right?
It was against the Heat. I do remember that. Yeah.
And then he took another one kind of late shot clock. That was more of a heave. I don't think it was a beyond half court heave, but it was more of a
and then the one in the finals. But yeah, if he takes,
so he's officially taken 3.
If he takes 50 this year, I'll be thrilled. If he takes, even if he takes
shocked.
15 this year, I'd be pretty fired up.
Yeah, 15 would be.
Because if he takes 15, he's probably going to make like 12 of them.
Is that how it works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I'm confident.
Well, on that note, we're gonna hit our first break. We're gonna come back and talk about, you guessed it, LeBron.
Yes, let's go.
You know that moment, the one where you realize you left your favorite sunglasses on the beach, or on the roof of your car, or at a gas station 3 states away. I've been there too. It is so easy to have sunglasses, and you put them down on the table, you put them down somewhere else, you put them with your stuff. But if you got your wallet, you got your keys, you got your phone, you got pockets for all those things. Sometimes you just don't want to do the clip sunglasses thing on your neck. You don't want to put it they don't look good on the top of my head. So I put them down somewhere. I leave them. I lose them. Here's the wild thing about Shady Rays is that it's changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life. They're good looking, polarized, and durable. But if you lose or break them, even on day 1, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacement. So we've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code DLLS35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars. Over 300,000 people.
saving money can be really tough. Setting your own financial goals can be really tough because oftentimes you're just wandering in the wilderness. You got 37 different apps for everything now, and you don't see all of this stuff in one convenient place. Until now, our friends at Monarch Money are going to arm you with your own financial command center so you can track your spendings, your savings, your investments effortlessly all in one place. And they can also help you set goals for yourself. For me, I like spending my money at restaurants. I like going on vacations. So if I'm trying to save up, then I can work with Monarch Money, and Monarch Money will work with me to say, hey, if you like going on vacations, maybe you shouldn't eat at restaurants 32 times a week. Maybe you can dial it down to like 20 and use that money to get yourself a plane ticket to wherever you want to go. You can do all of that and more on Monarch Money. So get control of your finances today with Monarch Money. Use code DLLS at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year right now at monarchmoney.com with promo code DLLS.
Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs show. We're going to talk about LeBron.
A little music underneath the
like
ads. How'd that sound? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah. Tanner's cooking back there. He's always cooking on something. So LeBron James is going to be a Laker almost certainly to start next season.
We put just make sure since I obviously missed most of the last segment, we put that one to bed. We're good there. We're sure we covered all that ground
on all the surgeries.
I
Yeah,
think so.
I don't think we're sure of anything. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, they're all a little bit concerning in their own ways. That's the thing.
I wasn't a great help to you guys in segment one. Sorry.
It's okay.
We'll take it.
Okay.
Will you be a great help to us this segment?
I will do
talking about LeBron.
Mark, Kyrie got off to a lot of slow starts during that finals run, but you know what? He always delivered in the fourth quarter. So I have big expectations for you after the next break.
Well,
Thank you.
Kind of.
What do you mean?
He kind of slowed down quite a bit at the very end.
Oh, everyone else did too.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
They don't make it that far without him.
Obviously not. Of course.
Tim.
LeBron James is almost certainly going to be a Laker to start next season. He may just be a Laker until he chooses to retire in a year or two, although there has been a lot of signaling, a lot of smoke, a lot of indications and hints that that is not necessarily how he sees the rest of his career going. And so we are in a situation where we are trying to, we know that there's a bunch of What are you doing?
I was checking to see how the mic sounded, and there was a commenter did make a good point. We got to workshop that. I appreciate the feedback.
That shouldn't matter because
okay.
Yeah, I know. It's tech stuff.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Sorry to just completely.
Yeah. See, this is how I know.
Derailed.
This is where I am whatsoever not at Kevin's level. Is that he would have just like powered through and kept going.
He would have stopped and said, "What the hell are you doing?" And I would have said, "No, don't stop. Don't bring attention to it. We got to serve the audio listener."
Do you guys want LeBron to be a Maverick? Let's put aside all of the other stuff. Let's put aside how it would happen, if it's going to happen. Let's put aside who you would get traded, why he would get bought out, why the Lakers would even consider doing that, what it means to the league, whether he would prefer to go to Cleveland or New York over Dallas. Would he end up in Dallas? I don't care about all that stuff. We don't know. We have talked about everything that we know. If LeBron James was a Dallas Maverick, what would that make you feel? Would you enjoy that, like being part of the final bits of the history of, the greatest basketball player I've ever watched?
Hell yes.
For the record, I think I proposed this topic. The reason I did,
You got to say it into the mic, Mark.
Sorry, I'm having a lot of issues. I believe I'm the one who proposed this topic. And
You were.
And the reason I did so was because I wanted to hear. Sorry, of course, my computer died.
Oh no.
I wanted to hear Bobby Carella's take on this most of all.
Yeah, I would love to have LeBron in Dallas. I think LeBron is one of the best players of all time, one of the greatest players of all time. It would be awesome whether it was his final season or whether he's got one more or 20 more after this one. I think it would be really fun to watch him play. I think that he's still extremely good, and I think there's a lot of value in having him as kind of like a mentor or example for Cooper Flagg, if that's what Cooper wants and if that's what LeBron wants to do as well. He was on the 3rd seed last year. He was in the conference finals in 2023. He's still really dang good and can still lead your team and take you places. And he's getting a lot better at playing off the ball, getting a lot better as a 3-point shooter. Like the on-court stuff is great, but just the off-court, like the pageantry of having that around. Like I mentioned this, last summer when the Mavs got Clay right as we launched. I said there's just like this like cachet of having these dudes on your team that have been there, done that, even if they're maybe not as good as they were 5 years ago or 10 years ago or whatever. Like they still have the know-how, there's still the star power, the appeal. It would be fun, it would be crazy, and it would be dramatic. And if they won, it would be legendary, and if they lost, it would also be legendary. Like it would just be incredible. It would be so much fun.
Under Cuban, when Donnie was running the front office and Dirk was the face of the franchise, Dallas was not a glamour franchise. They were not they could get meetings, famously. They didn't get commitments from free agents, but they could definitely get meetings. That is a true thing. That is a thing we know. And I do think, for better or worse, I think there's good and bad things that have come with it. Dallas is a little bit of a glamour franchise right now. And it turns out, like, it's not that Dallas has the best beaches. Our beaches
they don't exist.
They kind of suck.
Yeah.
Like every time I go to a Dallas beach, I
wish we had one.
It doesn't really feel like a beach. This is just a parking lot.
Yeah.
What
you're seeing are puddles.
They don't have the celebrities. They don't have the nightlife, and like as a city, of course, it's not on that level. But some level of glamour franchises who plays for you, and Dallas got Kyrie, and then Clay wouldn't have come if Kyrie wasn't here, probably. Maybe. But like Kyrie, I think, was the start of Dallas becoming a destination that NBA players and NBA vets, NBA stars looked at and said, I could play there. Like that seems like a franchise that, and as much as we have talked about, like, did the Luka trade change anybody's mind? Is it going to have an effect? Would it have an effect on players wanting to come here? I think the answer is pretty clearly no. There's been a lot of players who are interested in here. We have heard all of these LeBron and Dallas rumors, even if, this is, we're putting that aside. We're putting aside the likelihood. I do think it's interesting that a franchise that was one thing for decades is getting new life in a very different way than it ever had.
Yeah, the times have changed. I mean, you look at like just skyline pictures of 15 years ago, like we thought Dallas was a really big city, but like it's nothing compared to what it is now. There's just so much more people, and there's such a more vibrant lifestyle here, even if there isn't, the weather's kind of lousy a lot of the time, and there's no water, and there's no mountains, and there's not really that much stuff to do other than go out to eat and shop and stuff. But like, there is a really vibrant culture here. And just think about 2024 as the Mavs are on their way to the finals. The Luka Kyrie backcourt was so cool. NBA fans around the world were like just loving it. And that was really outside of the 2011 finals specifically, not that run, just the finals. Outside of that moment in time, 2024 was really the only time in my life that it felt like the Mavs were cool. That everyone, there was a buzz in the city, but also around the world, everyone thought the Mavs were awesome. And I'm not foolish enough to believe that LeBron doesn't have haters. I know Kyrie has some, cooperflagg has some, I know AD has some, I know Nico has some, sitting right here, just kidding. But like, it's not like everyone would universally love the Mavs. I'm sure a lot of fans would probably be annoyed that if LeBron were to come here. But just think about just the vibe in the city, man. There would be such a buzz. The games would be so much fun. There would be such renewed energy. And even disregard the fact that we're coming off like the most controversial trade of all time. It would be so cool to be a Mavs fan. It would be so fun to be a fan in Dallas. Think of the exposure that it would bring the city, to bring Texas, to bring basketball around here. Like, it would just be like, kids would love it. Adults would get over it, and they'd move on and stop hating LeBron for a fake coffee to 20 years ago. It doesn't matter anymore. Like, it would just be so cool. It would be awesome.
Your whole vibe on this has kind of surprised me. The reason I wanted to talk about this today was because every time I'm with you and my phone does ring, or I do get a text
LeBron James,
and it is a potential news story that I have to stop and chase, you consistently are trying to speak it into existence that it is a phone call telling me that LeBron's coming here.
Mostly as a joke, but also, I mean,
but you do
deep down, I think it would be great.
Like, you do want it.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, like, I think that it would be probably reckless and maybe irresponsible, downright irresponsible, to trade 4 guys for that dude. And Mark, you have consistently said that's not going to happen.
Bronny's a prospect now.
Exactly,
Bronny has value. Bronny is slotting right into the rotation. So it's not a 4-for-1.
They need a point guard. They need point of attack.
Exactly.
But, I almost don't
Mavs
even
would have drafted Bronny if they had a pick in that range, and he made it to him.
And you know what? Like, dude, I wouldn't even mind making that. It would just, you know, I know that sounds so dumb, but like, I already view this as like that we've all gas, no brakes. Like, we're just heading toward the cliff of change. And like trading for him would only just speed up that timeline even more. Like, we'd get to like skip a couple tiles and get closer to the finish line. Like, the whole team is going to look totally different in 2 years, whether it's all the guys that are on the team now or they trade the whole team for LeBron. None of it's going to be the same outside of Cooper Flagg and hopefully Lively and maybe a couple other guys 2 years from today, right? So why not have as much fun as possible? Why not get to watch one of the greatest players of all time every single night and get him back together with AD and back together with Kyrie? The vibes would be great. I don't know if the team would be good, but it would just be so much fun to be a Mavs fan, and it would be so much fun to watch the team, in my opinion. Plus, I've been saying for 5 years now that LeBron was going to be a Mav one day because of Kidd and Nico, and at the time Jared Dudley, and you know all the getting Kyrie and now getting AD. Like, it would make too much sense, and it'd be very validating for this theory that I've been pushing for a really long time.
Yeah, it's just, again, trading 3-4 players and, you know, destroying your depth for someone who you don't know how many more years they're actually going to play.
Yeah, it could be reckless for sure.
That would be reckless. Good word.
Or it positions you to have cap space as soon as next summer.
But, and is that what you want?
I don't really care.
I don't believe that.
I think that they have some long-term money on the books that I'm not super big a fan of. But everyone in the NBA can be traded nowadays. So like thinking like on the one hand, I know that I chided Nico in particular for like talking so much about the next 2 to 3 years. It's like, it's your job as the GM to care about the next 10 years. But every player changes teams all the time. Teams make so many trades that it almost doesn't matter what any of these guys make 3 years from now, because if it becomes too much, you can just trade them. It's fine. Someone will trade for them. So I'm not as worried about cap space or anything like that. But if you can make $50 million in what I consider to be kind of money turn into an expiring contract that also belongs to the best player of this generation, then like,
it's all vibes right now. You know, like it is the Dallas.
So presumably Gafford would have to be in this trade based on everything we said about Lively in segment 1.
Yeah.
How could you even think about surrendering Daniel Gafford?
If they were to trade Gafford, it would suggest to me that they have pretty good confidence in Lively's ability to come back.
Or LeBron's your 5.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Okay. Tempt me with a good time, Mark.
Yeah, but I don't see an issue with that.
LeBron is a rim runner. LeBron is a pick and pop threat. Lock down Jokic in the post. You don't think he can do that?
I think he can do many things that a 5. He can do many things at the 5 better than the Mavs have received from various 5s, but rim runner.
Don't talk about Sam Dallenberg that way.
Yeah, seriously.
Rim runner, lob threat. I don't know.
I was there when Elton Brand had a good year.
He did have a good year.
He did.
All right.
Sam T says Bobby might be cooking. Actually,
hey,
I'm gonna have us in this segment here. Coming up next, we've got some diehard questions.
Tim is a strict host.
We were having fun.
I know. Did y'all have more to say?
Dare we go to 12:31?
I always have
Look me
more
in
to
the
say about
eyes. Tell me you had a lot more to say.
Buddy, I'll talk about LeBron to Dallas forever. All right? Because it's going to happen.
Okay, you can keep talking about it on our further shows. On this show, we're taking our next break.
Branded Bills, folks. It is hat season. It's sunny outside. It's bright everywhere you go. It's bright with these lights in our face. Mark Stein, that hat probably does a great job of drowning out the light. And if we want to get you armed with even better stuff, and you too at home, you got to check out our friends at Branded Bills. Whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, and t-shirts, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. They have a partnership with 40 colleges as part of their campus collection. They're always adding new schools. Whenever we started doing these reads, it was only TCU and Tech, but now they got Texas in the mix as well. So if you like hooking them, well, they got Texas stuff. If they don't have something that you do want, or maybe if you run your own business, you can get with their design team and start your order with those folks, and they will help you create the exact custom apparel that you need. That is custom headwear, so you can display your logo everywhere you go, including that DLLS one. Hopefully, I'm going to get very soon. Head to brandedbills.com today and use code BBDLLS. Again, BBDLLS at brandedbills.com for 15% off your first order.
Just like your favorite team needs a home court advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage. You know who's here to help you get it? It's Empire Today. It's always Empire Today. They've got the flooring experts. They've got dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day of their lives. It's not like the big box stores, which when you finally find them, rely on the map, weave through the maze, find their flooring department, you don't know if the guy that you're talking to, you don't know if he's a flooring expert. You don't know, he might have been doing light bulbs tomorrow, sinks yesterday, garden hoses the day before. With Empire Today, they live and breathe flooring, and they're going to be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ball game. Their flooring experts can even bring the showroom right to your house. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. DLS listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DLLS. Yes, you heard that right, a $350 discount with code DLLS. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/DLLS for full details. Welcome back. The third segment of our Thursday DLS Mavs show. We're here to talk about diehard questions.
You got that music going, Tanner.
Yeah. Don't
Let's
show
go.
Okay.
I changed the way I did it. Maybe that fixed.
No, whatever you did, it sounded really good.
Tanner, you are a saint and a scholar and
I'm just a tech
technician.
Savant. Man, so good at.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Tanner's playing lo-fi music during our ad reads. Do you listen to a lot of lo-fi?
Do you
turn
not
on
know
lo-fi
what
to
you guys
study
are
to?
talking about?
Do you
right now.
enjoy having some chill lo-fi hip hop beats to report and write to?
Yeah, to Substack.
I do not.
Substack
I
too?
do not write with music.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then,
Really?
Mark
No,
Stein.
very much really. Do not write.
Wow.
I
Okay.
very rarely do. It has to be
I only do.
instrumental stuff.
So, all right.
Or songs that I know all the lyrics.
I'm-
to. It
yeah,
can't
that's
be a
the
new
thing.
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
good writing. I can write in a loud restaurant with that kind of noise around me, where I
Right.
just lock in. I actually do some of my best writing in restaurants and coffee shops. But if I'm just in the home office, I don't.
I've written some stories at hotel bar tops. That is a place where
You
I
play music when you write.
Yeah. If I can't focus, then I do. And the two that because whenever I broke into the biz, I was writing in a lot of weird spots, weird places, so I had to find music to listen to. And the two that are so familiar to me that I do love one of those albums still. The other one I don't really care that much about anymore because I'm just older. But Gossamer by Passion Pit, just a goated album. I listen to that when I need to write. And then Born to Die, Paradise Edition by Lana Del Rey.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, that one doesn't resonate
go.
with me as much anymore because it's more kind of younger
For John
themes. And,
Zesty?
I don't listen to The Father while I'm writing because I would get distracted. I'd get way
Right.
too into the music.
Yeah, the type of stuff I listen to when working or writing, it's like Krabin or Jungle, or these are Krabin. They sometimes have lyrics. They sometimes have vocalists come on. Or Bad Bad Not Good.
Okay.
And Bad Bad Not Good. Yes, they.
Damn, Cam T is just revealing all my stuff. I just sit and stare at the seat in front of me.
But yeah, it's see, that is not a reference that I thought you would know.
But that's
not
but I've
the
only
term,
seen
but
Erling Haaland do it. I don't know what other.
Do you
reference
do?
It is.
Have you ever? No.
I write. I
Oh,
write
okay.
on planes. Is what I mean.
No headphones. No noise
no
canceling.
headphones, Nope.
I try to read, but sometimes I just play crosswords.
So I'm referring to Erling Haaland of my beloved Man City.
Yeah, my son. How is he doing?
He flew he was on he's just raw dog this 8-hour flight.
There's no way that's true.
Tanner, drop the clip.
Who is he mimicking? What is the original?
Oh,
No, that
no.
was like a pop culture phenomenon.
Yeah, it
he
was.
he was joining the conversation.
And obviously, that term has been used for. It had yes.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yes,
For what?
I'm
yes.
aware.
For other things?
Yeah, it referred to not cooking a hot dog, on the 4th of July.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you don't want to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
you need to make
It,
sure.
honestly,
that meat is cooked.
any pet dog is technically a raw dog.
Yeah.
If you think about it, your dog at home right now, it's a raw dog. It's uncooked.
I don't know, just go ahead and change the subject.
Ryan Wilson from the Discord. We're gonna be asking some Discord questions, some diehard questions. Ryan Wilson asked, "What is a realistic benchmark to be considered a successful season for the Mavericks, what would be considered a failure?
I think that opinion or that answer depends on who you're asking. Because I think the Mavs are like championship, like they want to win the finals. For me, but do you think if the Mavericks, if Kyrie misses 60 games, if he doesn't come back until after the All-Star break, do you think that they would, and let's say they're a playing team and they lose in the first round? Oh, I think they would view that as a colossal disappointment. Yeah,
I think that's the most interesting. Like, even if he misses far more than half the season.
I think so? I think that they. If I had to guess, I believe that they would view not winning a playoff series as a failure. For me, if they make the top 6, even if they lose in the first round, if they're able to make the top 6, then that I believe is a reflection of pretty good to really good health for AD, pretty good to really good health for Lively and Gafford. Kyrie's able to come back maybe earlier than we thought, and Cooper Flagg is really good. So I feel like if they can make the top 6, whether or not they win a series, that to me is a success. If they, let's say they finish 9th or 10th and they're able to make their way into the playoffs, even if they lose in the first round, that to me still signals that Kyrie was able to play some games. But yeah, I think that they would view not winning a series, even if it's against number 1 seed OKC, I think they would view getting bounced in the first round or not making the playoffs at all as a huge failure.
Mark Stein, would you agree with that?
Sorry.
Success or failure next season?
Championship is just so hard to imagine.
Do you think that's where their threshold is, or do you think that publicly they're obviously going to say that, right? Every team says that.
I don't know. I wouldn't think in training camp they're going to be saying championship or bust when you don't know how many games Kyrie's going to play. Like, again, and actually when you started your answer, there was so much nuance in it. I was like, man, what is with you today? Now you're bringing all this.
I'm thinking you bring up LeBron, and now I'm just thinking about every possibility.
You just went from like, let's look at LeBron at any cost to this incredibly nuanced answer. I want to hear more about the status of Lively and AD. I mean, again, we don't have timetables on any of those 3 guys. I mean, is that 3 of their 4 best players?
Maybe they're 3 best, but
I'm gonna say Cooper is in the top 3.
Yeah.
Even though we have not seen him play an NBA minute yet.
Soon, yeah.
Hope so, yeah.
But I'm saying Cooper is one of their 3 best players, but Lively, let's say most important. I mean, Lively is one of the 4 most important players on this roster. And we don't have timetables on any of the 3, which makes it difficult to. I mean, successful to me, I think, will be getting a top 6 spot so they can just go into the playoffs without having to go through the play-in and then take their chances. Are they whole by that point to have a puncher's chance at making a playoff run? Because like when we did the West standings yesterday, I mean, it's hard to see how the Mavericks are a top 6 team right now. I mean, because the West is loaded.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I think if they do get a top 6 seed, it means that all these guys are healthy enough. Because I think we're all kind of in agreement that the longer that they're not healthy, the harder it is for them to even get into the top 10, let alone top 6. But if they can get in the top 6, that means either Cooper's way better than even we thought he could be, or everyone's playing 65.
So I would also say Cooper winning Rookie of the Year and doing it convincingly, that folds into the successful. Like if that did not happen for whatever reason, that would seriously make it hard to say the season was a success. That is a big part of this season's checklist. You want Cooper Flagg to be the runaway Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I've said this a lot, that not knowing when the injured players are going to be back, Kyrie most specifically, I kind of view next year as a gap year and that it sets up well for the year after next. So I would say if Cooper is a top 50, 60, if he's even in the conversation of being a top 50 player by the end of the season, that is an instant success. And I don't think he has to be quite that level, but I think like he's going to be a top 100. I know Locked On Mavs was just talking about this. Like he's going to be a top 100 player. If he grows and gets better and improves and looks like he could be, a top 50 player as soon as next season, or like the season after next, his second year, like that's a success to me. The other thing is when Kyrie plays, And we don't know. But in the games that he plays, I think Dallas should be winning about 60% of them. Otherwise, and I have concerns about how many games they're going to win when they, before Kyrie gets there. But I'm not going to judge them so harshly on that. What I'm going to try to judge is the vision of Kyrie Irving, with, as envisioned, like a team that is whole, and how they do when he gets back. Even if when he gets back, it's, too late to get into the top 6, you're too far behind, even if you're just fighting for play-in positioning. That, I think, is kind of more of how I would judge them next season. And that way it's kind of set up based off these uncertainties rather than saying, well, they got to get top 6, and then what if Kyrie misses, it doesn't come back till March.
It's a good Discord question.
Yeah. Ronald in the Discord asked, thoughts on EuroBasket or predictions? And I'm going to be honest, I don't really have any, but I think and hope Mark Stein might be able to talk a little bit about that. But I also, while bringing up Ronald's question, I want to bring up Elliot's question. How do you guys feel about the possibility of NBA Europe? What do you think it would look like? Apparently Simmons and Lowe talked about this recently.
So let's do both of those. Okay, EuroBasket. It starts at the end of August, and as we get closer to that, I promise that I will have a comprehensive preview on my Substack, a much more complete preview for us to get into here. I mean, we are some teams have announced. Teams are in the process right now of announcing their preliminary rosters. So, like this week, the official EuroBasket feed from FIBA says Giannis is a confirmed participant for Greece.
That is huge for Greece,
pretty significant. Luka, we know, is a confirmed participant for Slovenia. Porzingis has said, I'm playing for my national team this summer. The later rounds of EuroBasket are in Latvia, so that's like they would have a home court advantage. The belief, the working assumption is that Jokic is going to play for Serbia. He has not officially stated that. I think we're going to get that. The point is, EuroBasket is fantastic. Because look, the teams don't have 1 to 12 NBA depth, but there's 100+ international players in the NBA every season. Many of them come from Europe. Many of them play for their national teams.
Do we know about Wemby?
Wemby and Gobert, they are out.
Okay.
Both Wemby and Gobert have said they are not playing for France. And France has a very deep team, probably the deepest in Europe. So they can, they're probably their 2 best players. So I don't want to say they can withstand those absences. But France will still have a good team filled with players that
That's they're 1 to 12 NBA basically.
Pretty close. And so to me, I love EuroBasket because it's late August. By then we're all impatient. We're missing hoops. Summer League has been off for a month, and then all of a sudden we get like 2+ weeks of games at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Central Time, and it's like we get all these games that we can stream that we weren't expecting, and it's very high level. And like I said, it's too soon because again, teams announce their preliminary rosters. And then inevitably, some established players will withdraw from their teams. And, we won't see 100% appearance of Europe stars. But generally, EuroBasket is outside of the Olympics, it generally is the strongest tournament because it has the most NBA players. So
let's stop there.
Yeah, we'll
hit a break, and then we can come back to NBA Europe.
That is a much longer answer.
Yeah, we'll do that coming up right after this final ad break on DLLS Mavs Show.
Hey, if you weren't here right off the top of the show when Tim Cato told you about this Die Hard offer, you're about to hear more about it from me right now.
Why?
This is not a threat.
Why was that so threatening?
It's contained excitement because we're offering a great Die Hard deal. The Dallas Cowboys just started training camp in Oxnard this week. Clarence Hill is out there, sometimes recording stuff, sometimes getting recorded, not recording stuff. So thanks to Joe Hoyt for that. Former Cowboys, DLLS Cowboys host, turned to the Dallas Morning News. Did you see that video?
No, I didn't.
The Cowboys got into. I would stop. I wouldn't call it a brawl. I would stop short of a brawl, but it was a little bit of a melee, maybe a kerfuffle. as Sean Shapiro would say.
Did Clarence start it?
No, Joe Hoyt was following the action, and camera pans as like the whole team is beating each other up, and Clarence is just standing there, just looking at his phone, just kind of probably retweeting some stuff, whatever. So anyway, if you want some of the best Cowboys coverage from Oxnard, no, just kidding. Clarence is bringing the best stuff. He's already had an exclusive with Dak. He's had walk-off interviews, wrote about George Pickens today.
I told you, man, I watched the local news, and Clarence Hill is in every clip.
Oh, he's everywhere.
He's in the B-roll of Channel 4, Channel 8, Channel 11, Channel 5. There is everywhere. A lot of Clarence Hill coverage.
He's the best, and he's bringing you all this stuff. In fact, Tim is bringing you stuff with Mavs. Jeff Wilson, hey, it's Rangers trade deadline a week from today. He's going to be all over that. We got Sam Nestler, Sean Shapiro on the Stars Beat, bringing you daily coverage of your favorite team on alldls.com. Becoming a diehard gets you access. When you sign up, you get a free shirt of your choice. We got loads to choose from. You also get to join the Discord, where you can ask questions that we will answer on the show and just hang out with us day to day. You get a free shirt, you get a discount on merch, you get a discount on events. You also get your physical diehard card. There's so many reasons to take advantage of this deal, so do it today, right now.
Welcome back. We are indeed answering some of the diehard questions from the Discord. And the one that I brought up,
LeBron sounds idiotic, bro. What do you mean? He scored 40,000 points. Like, it would be so cool to get to, if this is last year, to get to be a part of a Legends retirement tour. That would be incredible. What do you mean? That would be so awesome.
Have you done anything in your entire life 40,000 times? Do you own?
I cannot answer that question.
Okay. How do you guys feel about the possibility of NBA Europe, and what do you think it would look like? That was the question that I brought up on the other side of the break from Elliot.
I have many thoughts, but I just talked for 5 minutes. So you guys, you maybe you start off.
I mean,
let's hear yours.
I guess, like, Mark, the question for me is, this is obviously something that would be separate from American NBA, right? But, and, Tim and we've talked about this before. Eventually, there will be a point where, the quality of play around the world is already very high, but eventually there will be domestic leagues or international leagues, whatever, collections of teams that have the financial backing, the financial ability to offer really good NBA players competitive or exorbitant salaries, come over there and join. So would an NBA Europe be potentially one of those where it would have the kind of investors that could hit LeBron with a $100 million contract or something? Like, do you see something like that happening, or would an NBA Europe be more just a business venture that could maybe turn a profit and just sort of provide more basketball?
So the NBA wants to get into that business because they think they can run the business better than European teams are currently doing. They see an opportunity, a big time business opportunity. And as a lover of international basketball, as you guys, I would love to see this happen. But I think it's going to be very, very challenging for them because it's just almost anywhere you go in Europe, not everywhere, but almost any. And here's the thing. They want to be in major European cities that have the best arenas. That's what they would like to do. So some of the countries with the most passionate basketball fans that don't necessarily have NBA level facilities, I don't know that NBA Europe is going to end up in those places. Like, and that's the thing, there's still a lot we don't know, but like some of the, and this is not verified chatter. This is just, I think we really have to file all this under the heading of conceptual because we don't have all the details. But like, there's talk that like Real Madrid and Barcelona would want to join the NBA's league. Now, those are storied basketball teams, part of major world, globally renowned soccer clubs. Those teams have a huge fan base already and are going to be successes in whatever league they're going to be in. So they're probably, I think, if they're in this NBA Europe league, that's huge. But there's also talk of the NBA wants to be in England, my beloved England, and have an NBA Europe team in London and an NBA Europe team in Manchester. Well, there's no current franchise. The state of basketball, England's domestic basketball league, is nowhere near EuroLeague level. So basically the NBA, to be in those cities, has to start teams. And so I mean, you guys know Manchester's like second home for me. I go there all the time. There is no one who has anything to do with the NBA who would rather see an NBA Europe and NBA Europe franchise in Manchester more than me. I promise you. But I'm trying to envision if you start a team in Manchester that's in NBA Europe that's starting from scratch, what kind of players are going to be on that team? And are they going to attract fans in a country where, again, soccer is way up here and any other sport you want to name is this far away? Like, just the hugeness of soccer in England, there's no words I can apply to it. So I guess that's my question. Who are the players that are going to be playing in this league? And can we see players who are exiting like late in their NBA career? Will big names go into this league to help raise the stature of it? And will that resonate? Like I said, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they're not going to have trouble getting fans. But if you were starting a team from scratch in London, in Manchester, now Germany's become quite a basketball country. You know, this is part of Dirk's great legacy. You know, they just won the World Cup in 2023. The standard of the German league is much stronger than it was when Dirk himself was playing in it. Can you get existing German franchises that already have a fan base and a history to join your league instead of having to start a Berlin expansion franchise in NBA Europe or in some other big German city? That to me is going to be key. The NBA needs to get as many established franchises in this NBA Europe league as it can. I think anytime you're just starting a team, because again, you're not like the best players in Europe are still going to want to play here. Like, I don't think you're going to see Victor Wembanyama say, well, you know, I'd rather play in NBA
Do you think
Europe.
you could get that way at some point?
Yes, and if
the money, that's the thing. If the money's there,
that's the NBA's argument. The NBA's argument would be, well, we're never going to get to that point if we don't start it. We have to. It's just like what, you know, same thing with the NBA Cup. The NBA Cup, to become the FA Cup, to become the NBA's version of the FA Cup, you actually have to start it and let it grow. And so that will be the NBA's argument. We have to go to Europe and start this to get this thing going. And like I said, I would love to see it happen. Love to see it happen. But I do think it's challenge. It's going to be challenging. It's tough.
So from the Discord, Club has a question. Predict one player for each of these totals over the whole season. 20 total starts, 40 total starts, 60 total starts, all 82 starts. I think cooperflagg is the pretty obvious only real candidate that makes sense for starting all or most of every game.
Yeah.
Maybe PJ?
I
think it's Cooper.
I don't know. I bet you there's some midseason point if things are going weird where it's like, let's take PJ out, put Clay in.
Yeah.
Or let's take Clay out and put someone else in or whatever. How about this? For 60 starts, D'Angelo Russell.
That sounds about right to me.
For 40 starts, Daniel Gafford.
Okay.
For 20 starts,
LeBron James.
I wish. All 82, baby. The nicknameless Najee Marshall. 20 starts for Najee.
I'd say 20 for Clay.
Okay.
Though Najee is a good shout. I considered him too. Clay really should start more games.
And we, either in Discord or chat, we have not really had a Najee nickname proposal that has wowed us, have we?
He's got to come on the show. I'll hammer out a nickname with him in 5 minutes. I just need Najee on the in studio. In studio, Najee. We'll figure it out, man. You and me and Stein and Tim and KG and Tanner.
Will that be a 5-seater? If we get Najee, would we somehow make that a 5-seater?
It would dude, come on. Najee's my guy. He knows that. Najee knows that, right? We're best friends.
We would find a way.
In real life.
Yeah, life finds a way. Club also asked, which current players in your eyes meet the can play 20 good playoff minutes threshold? This is something for years now when I've done the fan survey at the end of the summer, I ask fans to just check boxes next to every player that you can imagine hopping in for 20 minutes into a playoff game, a competitive, tough playoff game, and just holding their own, because everybody knows that the deeper that when Dallas went to the finals 2 years ago, they had 6 players they could rely on, sometimes more like 4, and that's the toughest thing. That is the toughest thing. So Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving are obvious yeses. I think it's safe to put. I mean, it's early, but by the time the playoffs get here, I will trust Cooper Flagg to play 20 playoff minutes. I think he is that level of a player. Derek Lively, when healthy, is somebody that I think is for sure also on that list. PJ Washington is on that list. Klay Thompson is not the player he was, but I think I trust him for 20 playoff minutes.
Yeah.
Based off everything we saw last season.
D'Lo.
Now it starts getting tricky. Daniel Gafford, D'Lo, Max Christie, Najee Marshall, Caleb Martin.
I trust Najee in the playoffs.
I think I do too. And
Caleb Martin, it depends. What is his shot like? What's his jumper looking like?
And that's how most players become unplayable in the postseason, especially young players, is that they get challenged to shoot and they start overthinking, and the jumper's not going consistently, and it's. Let's see. I think Caleb Martin's a really interesting one based off everything we saw last season. I think very obviously, no, he's not someone you trust in the playoffs. But he's also somebody who helped, was a pivotal, crucial starter to one of the most surprising finals runs in recent memory with Miami Heat. So it's possible you can get back to that player. He is 30 now. Super chat real quick. Let me read that from Pomelo. Hey, y'all, I'm an NFL who lived in Vancouver for 12 years. So excited the team's coming in. Stein, I really appreciate your stories. Thank you, Pomelo. Thank you for the support. We appreciate it. One of 2. I think there's one more coming.
Yeah, more to come, I think.
Yeah, more to come. So I will make sure to read that as well when
Only 2 minutes left.
Yeah. The last question I wanted to get to was Sarah.
But Stein, you're probably the happiest person in the world that the NBA might launch a team in Manchester and that the Mavs are playing a game in Vancouver.
Not playing a game of training camp.
Training camp, well, same thing.
Training camp.
Even better because it's more time in Vancouver.
Yes, indeed. I love Vancouver. So.
And then Pomelo continues, your knowledge and experience are
up.
unparalleled, and it really is an honor and a privilege to have access to that treasure trove. Appreciate it so much. That's so kind.
That's really kind.
Yeah. We're never that kind to Mark.
I appreciate Mark every day.
All right, I've got a good one to end on. It's from Sarah. She says, 2 to 3 words to describe how you think you'll feel about the team 6 months from today, based off whatever criteria you want to impose. Maybe we can revisit it in January.
6 months is when?
January.
Mine is always has been.
Always has been?
Always has been.
Are you referring to yourself? You've always been a has been?
So they were right. Always has been.
Okay. I did joke I was right as mine. I don't know. I think
I think there's a decent chance by January that Kyrie Irving has still not yet played a game.
Right.
I think it's either going to be whatever, because you have to take a public position on everything nowadays. So it's either going to be vindication or, God, I'm so happy that I'm wrong. Trust me, nothing in the world would make me happier than being wrong about the Mavs. I want the Mavs to go 82-0, and if they do, if they win 50 games this year, I will be over the moon, and I will say, I was a wrong idiot. I'm just a dumb dummy, and I couldn't be happier about it.
I'll say my 3 words are future's still bright, because that kind of balances everything. Like, no matter where the team is, still Cooper, still going to be his team, still going to be his league. Maybe not quite that. He's going to be really good. So no matter what happens. Can we get a couple words from
we started this show?
We started a minute late.
When we started this show, we thought for sure the Mavs were going to be a 50-win team last year.
Oh, 60. 70.
I don't remember you saying that. Tanner, did he say that?
Well, we did all pick them to...
I'll go check the tape.
We picked them to finish second in the West. So that's, 50-55 wins for sure, yeah.
They ended up winning 39.
Not good.
They're going to, in year 2 of DLS, they're going to win more than 39. Yes? Can we safely say that?
Safely?
I can't
absolutely
say
cannot
that, no.
safely say that.
No.
Yeah.
Can you safely say that?
Yeah, but I'm like, safely 40 or 41. Is that safely?
Why are you wearing Kevlar under there? You feel safe?
All right, that's gonna do it for
Tanner's
us.
here. Of course, I feel safe.
That's right. I
That's
feel
gonna
safe
do it
from the
for
bugs,
us
too.
on the DLLS Mavs show. Thank you, Mark Stein. Thank you, Bobby Caralla. Thank you, Tanner, behind the controls.
Only one more
onto
show until Kevin
production.
Gray comes back to rescue
One more
us.
show until Kevin Gray comes back. But we'll be back tomorrow. Me, Bobby, and Christian Clark from The Athletic. So
And a good ad read soundtrack.
So be sure to
Christian
tune in
Clark
for
in the
that,
house.
and we will see you then.
We all silly like the mayor.